Welcome everybody to the GIgabyteSpyder podcast where we talk about anything we want to talk about. I just wanted to preface these initial episodes of Avatar Reactions by mentioning a few things. These quote-unquote reactions are more like post-watch reviews. I and the rest of the Avatar fandom know how zealously protective Viacom is of its Avatar content, so to avoid the headache of constantly editing flagged content, these podcast episodes would just consist of our reactions and reviews after our first watch of each episode in the show. Secondly, these first two podcast episodes were recorded on separate days. Initially, I didn't have a proper 2-mic setup, so you'll hear that the quality in the first episode is noticeably inferior to the quality we'll have by the recording of the next episode following it. I also thought about releasing these episodes separately, but to keep myself from falling behind and to ensure that we can watch more episodes more often, I decided to release them both in this one video as a greater introduction to who we are and the kind of things we take away from the show, given our varied background involving writing, cinematography, martial arts, other aspects of Asian culture, etc. Lastly, please remember to keep spoilers at a minimum in the comments. While I'm very familiar with the show and its story beats, Jerry is a newcomer and we want to keep his perspective fresh without too much information beforehand. Besides that, we welcome any feedback about the sound quality and any topics you'd like for us to touch on as we work through our Avatar journey. All that said, thank you for listening.
There you go. Welcome everybody to the GIgabyteSpyder podcast. I'm here with my best good friend Jerry. How are you doing, Jerry?
What's up, Gabe? What's up, podcast people?
We just finished watching the first two episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Just some background. I am a big fan of the show. I started watching when it was first airing between 2005 and 2008. And I never watched it in sequence, but I caught episodes here and then. You have not, right?
I have never seen this.
You've never seen the show.
Yeah, these are the first
The
two
only
episodes I've
the
ever
only
seen.
association you have with the show is the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong kind of show.
Yeah.
The failure of a movie.
Yeah, failure is put
That's the
nicely.
only comparison you have, and it's quite a low standard to
Yeah,
be honest.
it's definitely not
honestly.
ideal.
You were impressed right away.
Well, the first thing I said, I was like,
Yeah,
it's
that was
already
the
better
first
than
thing
the
you said.
original. But
Well, what do you think so far? Like, do you have the premise of the show kind of clear in your head?
I totally. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the live action, but I definitely. I definitely
you're
like where it's headed.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
like where it's headed.
You like the what do you think of the title sequence? Because it kind of has a lot to set up all at once, and I've heard for a lot of people that it's really difficult to understand right away everything that's happening in the show.
You know, I think because I've watched so much, so many of these types of movies and shows before, being a martial artist and stuff. And
Yeah, you have that background.
Yeah, about elements and how you can how you can channel those elements to for what the Chinese call qi.
Mm-hmm. We saw a little bit of that in the first two episodes that we watched.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated it because I felt like it even in the first couple episodes it went more into depth than the actual movie did.
Yeah. Well,
Which
it
I
helps to have
appreciated.
this amount of runtime and have a serialized show instead of
Right.
a 90-minute playtime to work with.
Right.
Because M. Night tried to jam the entire first season of the show into a 90-minute film.
No way.
So, of course, he's going to cut some corners and come out with an inferior product.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, he did us dirty, man.
Yeah,
that's the
seriously.
thing. He's such a fantastic writer director. It's
If it hits, it hits.
yeah. I just feel like there's probably a lot of studio intervention too,
Maybe.
that probably screwed up his vision. But I don't
Maybe.
know. And then like you said, at the end of the day, try to cram in an entire season into 90, 100 minutes. It's just
Yeah, that's not going to work.
no way.
Yeah.
No way.
What was I going to say? What do you think of the characters so far?
I like him. I relate to
Sokka. You like Sokka a lot?
Sokka's definitely me. I'd be the one bitching the whole time. But
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's got a good heart. I like the big guy. At the end of the day, I'll come through for people. But
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that if we go somewhere and you forget your jacket and I have an extra one, I'll give it to you, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna make fun of you in the process. And that's what I get from Sokka.
Yeah,
He's gonna take every time to. He's an opportunistic, whiner. So.
Yeah, yeah,
I do
yeah.
that
That's the kind of
sometimes.
person that he is, I guess.
Mhm.
What about the other characters like Aang or Zuko? Do you have any thoughts on them?
I like Aang. Like he's got his quirky moments.
Yeah, because he's only 12 years old.
He's 12. Yeah, he's first thing I said like, oh, he's 12.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a youngin.
To recap the episode, we saw Sokka and Katara, their siblings, and they're out fishing, and they get into some trouble with the currents and they crash their canoe. Right. And then Sokka gets mad. He brings out his sexist whatever attitudes and puts it out on Katara. The Katara freaks out.
I love how they brought that in like right from the get go. It's like you
Yeah.
are so sexist.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Boom. Already
Yeah.
bringing up social issues that
Yeah,
are still
yeah.
relevant to the
Yeah,
today,
you'll find
so.
that like this show really does play on a lot of themes that adult people can understand.
Right.
Like people growing up with the show, seem to have like a jump start to kind of adult themes that they come across
Right.
as they're growing up.
Right.
And you'll see that in much of the later episodes. So Katara and Sokka are they have an argument. Katara ends up breaking this iceberg behind them.
Yeah.
And
right.
then that reveals an iceberg underwater where Aang
The one
and
that
his
sank the Titanic, as I
yeah. You said that it looked like what the Titanic would have faced off against.
It's back.
Aang is trapped in there with his flying bison, and you're a big fan of the bison, aren't you?
I love buffalo. Yeah, for those of your fans that don't know, you and I go out to Antelope Island and film the buffalo.
Yeah, they're my favorite part of the entire island, honestly.
They
the
make
buffalo.
those little grunts too.
Yeah.
Like he does.
Yeah, he makes those noises. Yeah. The voice actor for the bison does the voices for all the animals, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
His name is D Barker or something like that.
That's gotta be the coolest job. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, actually. I didn't even look at I'm going into this blind.
Yeah,
except
yeah.
Only prior knowledge I have is the
Right. Yeah, I've told you some stuff about it too.
Right,
But
right.
I'm trying to leave all the spoilers and stuff out so you can
Yeah.
discover it for yourself.
Yeah, no, because I'm like, let's watch it together. I never watched it, so
Yeah. It's an experience, I'll tell you that.
I like it. It's easy to follow. I like the
Yeah.
writing's very good.
From
a writer's perspective. It's
Yeah,
very
you
good.
have a screenwriting experience, so I
Right.
thought that would be something you'd appreciate too.
Yeah,
'Cause,
no, it's good. It's really, it's very straightforward. I like the humor. It's not overdone.
Yeah, exactly.
They include a lot of things that you learn when you're dealing with like with martial arts beliefs with chi energy and how we're connected with everything that's around us.
Yeah,
And I like how they're slowly bringing that in. They're not nailing us over the head.
Yeah,
with it,
there's
but
not a
just,
lot of exposition
subtle.
right from the start.
Yeah,
Right.
A lot of subtext and the uncle of what's that character's name?
The main dude, the main villain. Zuko.
Zuko. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to keep everyone.
Yeah. I mean, you only saw the first 2 episodes, so.
Zuko. Yeah, he reminds me of a Mr. Miyagi. Just 'cause,
Yeah. I see a lot of Miyagi.
I'm gonna eat my duck first, and then I'll teach you.
Yeah.
It's very subtextual sort of messages, which is what you would get from a master like that. They don't tell you. You have to figure it out.
Yeah.
But they'll guide you. They'll give you the tools. So if you're smart enough, you'll figure it out. And I feel like Zuko is one of those. He's so hot-headed, so efficient.
Yeah.
And there are tons of people that way. I relate to him in a way too, because sometimes I'm that way.
Really?
Where I want some instant gratification for things like when I'm learning a song on the piano or something. I want to learn it right then and there. But sometimes those more difficult pieces, it takes some time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I can relate to that too.
Yeah.
So the siblings end up freeing Aang from the iceberg. They realize he's an airbender. What do you think of the martial arts so far that you've seen?
I love the animation. Obviously, it's just like we were talking about while we were watching. It's got its anime roots for sure. You can tell, especially when
very anime inspired.
When when the avatar is he's up in midair and then you have those it looks like he's going like super fast.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm talking about?
He's got the action lines happening.
Yeah.
And the facial expressions are very expressive.
Yeah.
You know, there's. I have heard that the show producers made some of the animators. They outsourced the animation to a South Korean studio, and they had really the animators learn some martial arts so that they could better animate the action scenes.
Right. I mean, from what it looks like, I mean, obviously it's got, you know, because my style is Japanese primarily, but like I've spent time with people who train different Chinese styles.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can definitely see the similarities in the animation between that and people I've watched. And, I've done Tai Chi as well, and it's like I've seen some look like movements because like Tai Chi is all about that. It's about like the elements and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So
the show actually had a martial arts consultant in general to kind of guide the action scenes, and the mythology of the show is that each of the 4 nations base their fighting styles around particular styles of kung fu.
Right.
The waterbenders are based around Tai Chi, as you might have noticed.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Because it's like flow with water.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And airbenders are based on bagua. That's when like they're trying to just avoid direct confrontation.
Right.
You see a little bit of that when Ain's like trying to stay behind.
Right. Using their
in that one
moving
fight
against them.
Yeah. Fire is Northern Shaolin. And
Interesting.
you can see how aggressive their stances and their forms are.
Okay.
And that inspires kind of the fiery kind of attitude that a lot of them have. And then Earth, we haven't seen any of Earth so far, and we won't for a while. But I will mention that they're based on Hungar.
Okay.
So they're very like solid.
Right.
Very strong foundation.
Yeah, it's a very strong stance.
Exactly. So when we come across Earthbenders, you might be able to see some of that inspiration.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's really neat how many concepts and inspiration they draw from so many different areas of Asian culture.
And I like that the whole point behind, him being the avatar and able to master all of them, which basically like it kind of reminds me of Bruce Lee in the sense that he tried to master as many styles and use the best of those styles and put them into one. And that's what I kind of get from Avatar is that he's one of those. I mean, whether he means to or not, that's just what I kind of see. He's like, it's kind of the creator's way of saying, all these styles are great. Right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's really neat how many concepts and inspiration they draw from so many different areas of Asian culture.
And I like that the whole point behind, him being the avatar and able to master all of them, which basically like it kind of reminds me of Bruce Lee in the sense that he tried to master as many styles and use the best of those styles and put them into one. And that's what I kind of get from Avatar is that he's one of those. I mean, whether he means to or not, that's just what I kind of see. He's like, it's kind of the creator's way of saying, all these styles are great, and they're all great. Like none of them is wrong, but where some people get so caught up in, oh, my style is better than yours, or mine's more effective. It's just like, no, there are good things. As someone who has trained other styles, there are good things, from each style that I've taken away. Like with Aikido, Aikido is, using, it's Japanese, but it's using, your own. It's using their momentum against them, whereas Jiu-Jitsu goes against the joints, and Judo, you're also using their momentum as well, but you're also, it's a little more forceful than Aikido, because you're grabbing, you're flipping, you're tossing, you're throwing. And then there's Shotokan, which is what I grew up with, which is very aggressive.
Yeah.
Like it's very I guess like from what you explained with Earth, that's kind of what I would compare it to, because with Shotokan is our stance need to be very like strong, solid. Like we need to stand our ground where we are, So yeah, that's what I get from him is that he's one of those that tries to master all of them and show like the beauty in all styles.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Yeah, it kind of like helps to encourage the idea that like you can draw wisdom from lots of different areas.
Right,
you don't have to be stuck in this one place.
Yeah, and it's a thing for life too, because people.
I mean, if we think about in the
My God's better than yours.
If you think about the context in the show, the idea is that the Avatar is meant to maintain balance between all the nations.
Right.
So, like, when you have the Avatar disappears for 100 years,
shit gets messed
that
up.
allows one nation. Yeah. I don't know if you looked at the map of the entire world in the initial
the one he was
sequence.
Pointing out. Oh, a little bit, like not.
Yeah.
Not
You'll have other chances to see it, but you'll find that like it resembles a lot of our own map, just a little bit simpler. Gotcha. But the four nations aren't equal in their geographic influence.
Gotcha.
So details like that and like the philosophy in a lot of Asian cultures, it's really interesting how the writers are able to incorporate everything.
They did their history, like, for sure. Like, I mean, you can see, especially when it comes to philosophy, they really delved into what a lot of those that old school mentality and like being family oriented, like with
the Water Tribe.
Right, the Water Tribe. They're very small, close knit. It represents a lot of those small, close knit communities.
Yeah, exactly.
That are close, and they don't get out as much, but especially like in those olden times where the men did one thing, and that was protect the village. That's where this younger kid.
Yeah. And you think about Sokka. What happened to Sokka? All the men left his tribe and left him in charge.
Right, and he's like what? It looks like he's a teenager.
Yeah. I think he's like, I want to say like 15 or 16.
He's still a baby, and that's just the reality. A lot of old tribes like that. That's what happened. Kids 13, 14 would be a man.
Yeah, there's a lot of rites of passages in a lot of indigenous cultures, honestly.
Yeah, I'm like, you haven't even grown hair down where you're supposed to, and you're already, protecting a whole freaking village,
Yeah,
it's like
a lot of pressure.
You kind of feel for him. You're like, well, no wonder why he's so hard.
Yeah,
such
and
a
no
hard
wonder he's so
ass.
sexist. No wonder he's so sexist.
It's like, I protect you, cook and clean. Like,
leave it to a girl to screw things up. That's what he said.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, well, it's this type of show, all right.
It's nice that they addressed it right away, though.
Oh,
instead of making it come out of nowhere. And if you put it in context, you can see how he could get that kind of attitude.
Right.
It's culture.
Yeah, it's, that whole product of your environment argument.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because, like, it doesn't mean he's, just because of that comment doesn't mean he's a bad guy. It just, I mean,
Yeah.
He's just, he's taken such a role as, this protector. Like,
and he's really entrenched into it.
And he feels like, he knows best, being that. So, they're
he's training the smaller children how to be warriors.
Right. And I'm just like, obviously he's young, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, because he's like, who else has to pee? It's like, you never ask a group of kids who has to pee, because they'll all raise their hands. The first thing I commented in that scene.
Right. So Sokka and Katara rescue Aang. Zuko finds that little flare of light that comes out of his iceberg when they rescue him.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So they're...
What's up with his eye? That's what I want to know. What's up?
That is a good question.
I'm trying to
I will tell you the show will address it.
Okay, I'm just like, what's up with his?
Yeah, it makes him distinct though, doesn't it?
Black eye, like it's like.
It's not more than a black eye.
It's like
that's a legit burn mark, dude. And it took up half of his face.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So.
It'll be in this season when you figure out how that happened, but he and his uncle are there patrolling. They happen to be patrolling the South Pole when it happened.
Yeah.
I think that's the one bit of coincidence. Yeah. That just needs to be there. Then they take him back to the village. Aang realizes it's been 100 years since...
Bombshell.
That is a bombshell, isn't it?
Imagine that. Like,
yeah.
Whoa.
Like, I wouldn't even know what I would do in that situation.
So much to change. I've always wanted to do a movie like that.
Yeah.
Just like someone's like cryogenically frozen or just something, and then like in the future we have the technology to finally bring them back. Because eventually we're already doing it with
I think there's a Twilight episode that talks about it too.
Yeah. That's another show I need to start watching.
Yeah, we should start watching that.
Everyone just raves about it.
Yeah, it was highly influential for a reason,
It's been going forever.
So they take him back to the village, and Zuko shows up. No, they go penguin sledding.
Yeah, the penguin sledding. I was like, okay.
That's something you'd like to do.
Sledding on penguin otters. I mean, like, if it were like actually feasible, sure.
Yeah,
like if they're big enough to where like they could support my body.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm just like, God, you imagine me right now sledding on a penguin? I'd kill the poor thing.
No, they were fine when they were done with them. They just walked off.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when they decided that Katara needs a waterbending master. Mm-hmm. Then later on, they decided they're going to the North Pole together. Right. So that gives us the goal for this season, essentially. They're now heading north.
Right.
Towards the North Pole. But they're going to make stops along the way.
Yeah, they're going to have some fun. What was one of them?
They got the
hog monkeys?
The hog monkeys. Going to ride the hog monkeys. They're going to ride the giant koi fish.
Oh my God.
Elephant koi fish.
Oh God, I'm not even ready for
that. So that's where the show is headed right now, as far as you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have any predictions for what you might want to see in the show eventually?
I definitely want to like see more of his like arrow lighting up in his eyes.
Yeah,
because he gets like badass.
Yeah, he does. Doesn't
it? I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. But so far, he doesn't seem conscious of it.
Yeah.
Because every time he gets out of it, he just passes out.
Right, and then he's able to control water to his whim, but
Mm-hmm.
apparently he's not able to control water. So that's where I'm just like, okay,
yeah.
He's only able to do it under certain circumstances, so he has to be able to do it at will, which I understand.
Yeah, they call it the Avatar state. Gotcha. So that's like a way for him to harness some powers that he's not yet conscious of.
Yeah, and that only happens probably like in life or death situations, because like, so far we've only seen it where
he almost drowned.
Right. Yeah. And then he comes up out of the water with a freaking whirling belt of.
Yeah, and you'll see, like you'll find with the show really expands a lot in the lore, and it gives you levels of lore in tiny bits over time.
Right.
So it'll all add up to a really feeling like a real place, a real world that exists in this universe, and that's part of what makes the show really fascinating. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how many people really appreciate it even now when it's been off the air since 2008.
It's been off that long?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It came out when we were in middle school.
I am so late to the game, dude. Man.
Well, you didn't watch much TV growing up, right?
Yeah, and even now, like, I did there for, a couple years, just kind of binge watch TV, and now I'm just kind of over it.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't have time to watch shows. But,
honestly.
It is good to, like, sit down and just kind of...
Yeah, it's nice to have streaming.
This show is entertaining, and it's 30 minutes, so it's like...
Yeah,
to me, I can't commit to a full, like, movie anymore. Like, I just...
obviously.
I'm just like, my attention span just...
Yeah, imagine cramming the entire show's lore and mythology into that one less than an hour movie, or hour and a half.
Yeah, this is a good movie, though, or a good show, rather.
Yeah, good show.
It's a good show, like 2 episodes in.
Yeah, you've only seen 2 episodes. Would you say you're hooked already?
I'm definitely interested to see the next, what happens.
Yeah, sure. I would say this next episode is probably the one that hooked me when I first started watching.
This third one?
That
we'll watch? Okay.
Yeah, this next one.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Like, I definitely want to keep watching. Because, like I said, I've related to a lot of it on, like the martial arts side, screenwriter's side.
Yeah. That's why I think that you get a lot out of the show.
Yeah, it's fluid, it's not overdone with, the philosophy, with the jokes.
Yeah. There's a balance.
Yeah.
Like the Avatar.
Yeah, exactly.
Maintaining balance.
Exactly. They found balance in the show. That's why it lasted so freaking long. That's why it'll always, even though I've only seen 2 episodes, why, from what...
Yeah, you're already getting all of that. That's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, from what you said and everyone said, that's why it's always going to be a classic.
Yeah.
When everyone says Avatar: Last Airbender, they're going to think of this, not the movie.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm not Shyamalan Ding Dong, but love you,
It is kind of a tragedy that, like, a lot of people were introduced to this show because of M. Night's Thing.
Yeah,
and they were either, like, turned off because it was such a shitty movie.
Yeah. It's just... And that's one thing we were pointing out, too. I feel like... Because I saw it when it first came out in theaters. Mm-hmm. I remember even as a... When did that come out?
It was like 2010, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, was it already that long ago?
Yeah, 11 years ago.
Whoa! Reality check right now. Hold up. Man.
Yeah, and this is even older.
God, it's so long.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the show was off the air for 2 years before the movie dropped.
Okay.
So.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I think M. Night Shyamalan had a vision, and it was probably because he's a very all his other movies you watch they're just
he's a hit and miss. He's got a lot of hits, but he misses a lot too.
Yeah, for me obviously Sixth Sense is just that's a classic. That's like his magnum opus for me. But I don't know. The Village is really good too.
It was okay.
What was the other? There's another one.
Signs.
Oh, Signs. I like that.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was interesting. It was
different
roles for Joaquin Phoenix and Mel.
I think.
Oh, that one. One. See, that one I still haven't seen.
Oh,
I
okay.
hear that is insane. So, I still need to watch that. It's a trilogy, right?
I don't remember actually.
Kind of or in the same universe, anyways.
Yeah, the movie Split. Did you watch that?
Yeah,
that's the same universe as Unbreakable.
Okay, yeah, that's with James. I can never say his last name. Is it McAvoy or McAvoy?
I don't remember.
I can never say his last name. I feel like I should know this.
But Bruce Willis is the main one in Unbreakable.
Yeah. Right. I still haven't seen that. No, he's a hell of a writer.
For his attempt at this movie, Last Airbender movie, he did consult with the original writers of the show.
Naturally.
But at some point, they had to split because of creative differences.
Oh, man.
So that allowed M. Night to really butcher the entire mythology, the writing, the action sequences. Because he was never good with action sequences, honestly.
Yeah, and see,
he insists on continuous shots for action scenes.
And see, that's the thing, especially nowadays within the film, and that's something that we're going through with a project we're doing right now, is just this, collaborating with other people. And, I get why, if you have a vision, why, collaborating with other people can really screw with that vision.
Yeah,
but at the same time, as much of a vision as he has is not and never was his creation, obviously, because, Avatar is someone else's creation.
Yeah.
Other writers. So why wouldn't you consult and collaborate with those writers?
Exactly.
You know? And that's where a lot of people, they let their pride get in the way. Which, yeah.
Which can lead to a very inferior product.
Right. And lead to, people not wanting to work with you. And, I'd still love to work with the guy, and just as long as we know.
As long as he casts himself as one of the actors. As he does.
Starring M. Night Shyamalan.
You've seen him do that, right?
Written by M. Night Shyamalan. Edited by M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay, now I'm getting room vibes here. This is one guy doing the whole thing.
Oh my god, it sounds like... Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not going to mention any names. I think I've mentioned enough. But, at the end of the day, nothing against M. Night Shyamalan. No, I think he's fantastic. I definitely...
Yeah,
I would kneel before him to work with him because he's amazing.
But
definitely not one of his best.
He definitely flopped on this
definitely
one.
Definitely not his best. Everyone deserves a flop. It just happens. Every director's had a flop.
Yeah.
It happens.
I just wish it was someone else.
This type of thing, for sure. Yeah, ugh. That's a hard thing to flop on.
Would you even consider making this a kind of real live action now that you see
because it's
how big it is?
It'd be intimidating. Honestly,
it would be.
Part of me would want to. I would probably.
It'd be such an effort.
I don't think I could do a movie though. I don't think
not
I could
one
do
single movie.
No, it would have to be a series.
Yeah.
A movie series.
Shyamalan wanted a trilogy, one for each season.
See,
but he kept the time limit. I think that was the biggest issue.
That's the thing. If you're gonna do this type of movie, it's gotta be long, but at the same time, you don't want to bore your audience. That's
Batman did it.
Yeah.
Chris Nolan did it with his Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah. No, if I could get the budget and make it as long as I want, then hell yeah. Hell yes, I would do. God, I'd probably do 6.
Yeah.
Maybe split them up.
6. Yeah. Half a season each.
But
yeah, you'll find that there's a lot of details in every episode, and it's all really consistent, which is also a hard thing to write for. Consistency.
Yeah, exactly. Then the costumes, I remember when I saw it, I wasn't super keen on the costuming and even in the show, like the actual series. Like I feel like costumes are really good, and I feel like that'd be a really good opportunity to spend a lot more money on the production budget, and make the costumes just like insane.
I kind of felt like they overshot the costumes, honestly. Like they put too much detail
in the movie.
In the movie, yeah.
In the movie, yeah. See, I have to go back and
watch it.
It
seems like here they kept things simple, but
right.
You still understood. Like it made sense to you,
right?
What they were.
There too. Yeah. See, I have to go back and watch it because I just remember I wasn't really super impressed by it because I always look for stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
But then again, this was 10 years ago.
11 years ago.
11 years.
Yeah,
it's changing.
And he relied on a lot of CGI on that movie too.
Yeah, I remember it wasn't very good, like the CGI.
Decent.
But then again, 10 years ago, CGI wasn't very good anyway. So I mean,
it may have been good for 2010.
Yeah, back then. But even then, like you can do, practical effects are it's expensive, but it just looks so much better.
It lasts longer.
I guess I would do this movie if I could do it every way I wanted, which I'm sure that's what he wanted. But when you deal with studios every time, there's just so much crap you gotta deal with, and I'm sure he was a victim of that, just like anyone else. But if I could do it the way I wanted to, best costumes, best set design, like that's every filmmaker's
people who actually
dream, right?
knew how to fight. Yeah.
Good cast. I'm trying to think of like who I would cast.
There's a lot of videos on YouTube where like people suggesting the people who they would cast in the live action version of the show. Yeah. And there's a lot of really good.
I would go with like upcoming, like the upcoming generation for sure. I might make the villain a little older, just because we have a lot of young generation, so we get that older generation as well with the uncle and then the villain. But I don't know, like there's a lot of different ways you could do it, but obviously you want to stick to the vision of the creators as much as possible. Yeah. So that's why for me it'd be really intimidating because I feel like it'd be a lot of pressure to do that, and until I'm at the level where I have that kind of, or command that sort of respect where I can do what I want. Yeah. Then it's just like as
well, you're also depending on other people too, so you have to make sure.
Hate depending on others.
That's why we go with indie films, dude.
Seriously. As Heath Ledger said in Dark Knight, you can't rely on anyone these days. Everything yourself.
Don't wait. That's so true, though.
No. Yeah.
Any final thoughts about the show in general?
I dig the show.
Yeah?
No, I'm glad you finally got me to sit down and watch it.
Yeah. It's a long time coming, honestly.
I know. We've been talking about it for...
I knew you would really take a good interest in it, because there's a lot of things you could relate to.
I definitely like it. I'm not much for, cartoons or anime.
Yeah, that's another thing. You didn't grow up on cartoons.
No, the only real cartoons I watched growing up were, you watch Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that.
It kind of reminds me of that.
I love Jackie Chan Adventures. That was my jam. Superman.
Did you watch Jake Long?
Ninja Turtles.
Jake Long, American Dragon? No, that was on Disney Channel.
No. Yeah, I never watched Disney Channel. Like Wizards of Waverly Place or whatever. Like
the Selena Gomez show.
Yeah, a couple 3 episodes about it. Nickelodeon. Didn't really watch. The only time I watched SpongeBob was with you.
Oh yeah, that was my show.
Oh man, that was still a fun show though.
Yeah. I mean, we could watch that. Get your reaction on SpongeBob episode.
God, do we have time to watch? There's so many episodes.
Yeah, it's on the air for 20 years.
Oh my god. See, and Simpsons too. I haven't even gotten hooked. Well, so my dad banned The Simpsons in my house because my brother called him Homer Simpson because my dad's bald. He has you see my dad, dude.
But your dad banned the show in your house.
Yeah, he would not allow it to be played anywhere in the house. He's just because he got
petty like that.
He got so offended by my brother calling him Homer, and every time I looked at him, it's like, oh man. So every time The Simpsons, that part comes on, my dad turn that off.
Oh my god.
Because usually, I remember we'd be watching, when American Idol was, the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we would be watching that, and then it would come on after.
Oh.
And so as soon as it came on, it's turn that off, American Idol's done, and we're like, oh, God. So, yeah, I remember that.
I don't know if this show has that amount of prestige as The Simpsons, but it's pretty influential, I would think. very groundbreaking for Nickelodeon. This is a Nickelodeon show.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah, and
I heard they were going to team up with Netflix, like Nickelodeon.
Yeah, there was some talk about Netflix recruiting the writers and producers of the show to make their own live action version for Netflix.
Ooh, see if they did a series live action.
Yeah,
then we're talking.
But later on,
a lot of money. It's like Game of Thrones.
We heard that the creators of the show also had creative differences with Netflix. So now Netflix is making their own show without the creators. So it happened again.
What is this?
I don't know.
I feel like maybe it's the creators that might be tough to work with. Because if Netflix and M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong can't get along with them, I feel like those are two different entities. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see where these creative differences are falling.
Yeah, it would depend on how the Netflix series actually turns out, because
they're probably
without the
super
creators,
protective, which I get.
Without the creators, they're going to do a lot of creative liberties with the material.
And they probably don't want that, you know.
Yeah.
It's their vision. And I get it. Like, I do get it. You know, if I created a show like this, I'd be very protective of
like maybe if they wanted to like age up the characters or switch up the setting.
Yeah.
You know, it could really affect how you view the series.
Yeah.
But I think about being a fan of this since it aired, like you want it to come into fruition, this big broad world and a wider audience, and you want it to come to life. But these executives are just
stubborn.
Yeah. They're not cooperating enough to make it seem like something that the fans want.
Yeah, from what I've seen with studios, in my experience, is that it's just all, and you know, in their defense, and that's the thing. Like me and studios, I just, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with them, because obviously, like with studios now, you know, they're still one of the biggest, you know, or like the most effective way of getting your stuff distributed. You know, that's why they're called distributors. But you know, with streaming and everything catching so much air, you know, I feel like studios are going to have to be a lot more lenient and a lot more understanding with creators.
Yeah, or at least a lot more hands off.
Right, exactly, and that's the thing. Like with studios, because they got like millions and millions of dollars that they're playing with for these projects, and the thing is, like they're on deadlines and time crunches too, and I think a lot of times they don't want to spend the time and resources that are needed to go back and forth between the creators.
Yeah,
sure
and they don't want to spend time like reshooting. Or things like that take time.
Yeah, it can be a nightmare, a legal nightmare, especially. That's why, like, for me, I like original material. Like, I just...
Yeah, because the Nickelodeon execs were very hands-off. Yeah. That's how this show was made, because they just allowed the creators to do whatever they wanted with them.
Same with Star Wars. I mean,
Star Wars did that?
All they did was distribute it. Fox...
we're talking to the original Star Wars series?
The original, yeah. Fox, you know... They thought it was going to flop. They thought Star Wars was going to tank it. So they were just like, all right, you know, we'll, you know, keep all the merchandising rights and everything because we think it's going to bomb anyways.
What?
You know that?
No.
Oh, dude, George Lucas kept 100% of mercendising rights.
Oh, my God. Wow. No wonder his name's all up.
He was a millionaire overnight. Wow. Once that thing took off.
Wow.
And so now, then after, they were like, okay, you know, let's rethink our agreement. And he's like... No, you can just stick with distributing.
Y'all had your chance.
You want. I am a millionaire. I can actually distribute this myself if I wanted to. It's technically an independent movie if you think about it, because it was all self-financed. Obviously with you know, his group of people, but you know, the
that's how he was able to make
hardly
Lucas
put any money into it. Yeah, hardly put any money. It was mostly for the distribution side that he needed it for.
Right.
And so once that took off, and you know, he kept all the merchandising rights. They were very upset.
They're like,
well, shit, we messed up. Yeah.
Wow.
But, yeah. Fun fact. So it's probably what Nickelodeon did, obviously. And, you know, obviously, they weren't dumb, and they probably kept, you know, their share.
Yeah. There was some merchandising when the show was out too.
I bet it was insane.
Yeah.
I bet that's where the show made a lot of its money.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Even now. I still see, like, Avatar.
And people who missed the show growing up are now able to catch up on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, since it premiered on Netflix, you know, it's been getting a resurgence in popularity.
Yeah, because, like, I've seen a lot more, like, merch at stores, you know.
Yeah.
That
selling
are
merch.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah, excited for the next episode.
Yeah, I'm definitely stoked to watch the next 2. Is that what we're gonna do? Watch 2 and then do a little podcast.
I think now we'll just go one at a time.
One at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's enough content in each episode following this one.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm ready.
Well,
no, I'm ready.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to keep going with this thing. Like, I think we can both learn a lot from each other about what we think of the show.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah, because you know more about the show than
I just like have more experience with it. So, but it's nice to hear like from someone who has no experience with the show, because sometimes there's a lot of perspective that just completely goes over you when a new person sees
it's nice to have another set of eyes and ears.
Yeah.
2 heads are better than one, right?
Totally. Well, thank you for talking about this with me. Thank you to all the listeners here.
All right. Thank you, GIgabyteSpyder.
One listener that I have so far. Thank you.
Nice.
We'll see you on the next show. Let us know in the comments what you think.
For sure.
If you agree or disagree with anything we've said. Like if you think, what was your favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie you said?
Sixth Sense.
One,
but I haven't seen...
it might be divisive then.
I haven't seen Unbreakable though, but that's
okay.
So that's the thing. Like don't quote me there. Like
please rip them apart.
Yeah, that movie might be exceptionally better. I don't know. Like I've heard great things about it, so I still need to watch it.
Right. And let us know what you think of the show. Let us know if there's any other shows we should watch. We should like build a list of things we should watch.
Right.
Because I've seen movies you haven't seen. You've seen movies that I haven't seen. So it might be a cool arrangement to have.
Yeah. In the comments, let us know if my voice is super annoying. You don't ever want me back on the show.
Yeah, that's an important thing to know. That way I can pretend to talk for you.
Who's that Jerry guy? Screw him. We don't want to hear him anymore.
We've been talking for like an hour or something, so we'll know if they like your voice or not.
Right.
So.
Yeah. We'll see if they tune out. Then we'll know. Cool, dude.
We'll see you guys in the next episode whenever that comes out.
Sounds good.
All right.
Good.
Welcome everybody to the GIgabyteSpyder podcast, where we talk about everything we want to talk about. Anything and everything.
Anything and everything.
Today we watched the 3rd episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm back with Jerry. How are you, Jerry?
What's up, guys?
As we're recording, we haven't published the 1st episode yet. I was getting impatient, so I just wanted to watch this 3rd episode because it's the episode that hooked me into watching the show. I don't know if you feel the same way about it.
I'm starting to, man, because
Yeah.
especially that last scene where he gets really, really pissed off.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
just like, no, let him be. I want to see him kick some ass. But, no,
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
I think a lot of people would agree that this episode, it establishes more character development. It established a lot of backstory for some of the characters.
For sure.
And I made sure I made a list of things that we should talk about before we forget.
Splendid.
So the first things I got listed here, voice actors.
Oh, God.
You think you almost got
Zhao's
voice actor.
Zhao, that's
What do you think of the character Zhao so far? General Zhao.
I liked him, but he's kind of a twat. So
Twat. That's the word you would use.
Or a twit,
Why is that?
Just
His character is it's a foil to Zuko, because you can see how much more ruthless he is compared to Zuko.
Right. No, for
That's
sure.
because of his position of authority compared to Zuko's status as a banished prince.
Yeah. He's just, especially in that fight scene, where he just got all, butthurt because he lost to a kid, and and at first I was kind of hoping that he was gonna kick what's his name again?
Zhao?
Yeah, Zhao was gonna kick
Zuko.
God, I'm still learning the names though.
That's okay.
It's really something that's
okay.
Sokka, Zuko, and but I was really rooting for him because Zuko kind of bugs me sometimes, but after this fight, I'm just like, all right,
Yeah, he can hold his own.
I respect you now.
Yeah. You get we got a closer look at the martial arts fighting. in the show,
Mm-hmm.
and you can really see where the inspiration from martial arts really comes into play in the show.
No, totally.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention, I think I asked you last time, but you don't recognize Zuko's or Iroh's voice actor.
No, and I haven't even looked them up yet. I've been a good boy
do you want me to tell you, or do you want to wait until the end of the series?
Yeah, let's reveal it.
Okay, well, I can reveal it
at a time, I guess.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll let you know that Zhao's voice actor is Jason Isaacs.
Oh, no way!
That's Jason Isaacs.
You know, he came into my mind, but I was the American accent, because there's just like... But
because he's British, right?
Yeah, he's English, but that's right. He can do an American accent. I always forget that.
Yeah. And this was the first thing I heard him do, so I didn't even know he was British.
Oh, I love Jason Isaacs, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a cool guy.
Yeah, and he's an incredible voice actor.
Yeah.
Where have does he do acting, or is he mostly a voice actor?
Oh, yeah, no, he does.
He does acting.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course, yeah.
I keep forgetting where I've seen him.
Oh, The Patriot. He was Colonel Tavington. I believe, Tavington. He was the bad guy.
Oh.
Yeah, he shot Mel Gibson's kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shot Mel Gibson's kid.
Well, I mean, Mel Gibson's character.
Okay.
His kid.
Don't take that out of context.
They're housing and like cleaning up, the revolutionary, soldiers, and the British came and they're like, oh, that's harboring the enemy. It's punishable, and all this, and he was a jerk in that, but he's so good. Like he's so good. He's Malfoy's dad too in Harry Potter.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where I've seen him before.
Right. And a lot of people once they see him, they recognize it. But if I mention my name, some people are just like, "Wait, who?" And so I have to go to Harry Potter, which sucks because he's done a lot of good movies.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know.
Even just from this performance, you can tell he's really talented.
Yeah. He's incredible.
He can do an American voice.
Yeah,
it's so really well.
Because it fooled me for a bit. I was like, that's too good of an American. It's got to be an American guy,
right?
Because I was like, because I did think about him for a second. I was like, Jason Isaac? Nah, it's too.
He's too American.
It was like Jason a split-second thought, and it was gone. But I remember it. So, okay.
Wow.
People are just like, wait, who? And so I have to go to Harry Potter, which sucks because he's done a lot of good movies.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
Even just from this performance, you can tell he's really talented.
Yeah.
Even
he's incredible.
He can do an American voice.
Yeah, it's
so
really
well.
Because it fooled me for a bit. I was like, that's too good of an American. It's got to be an American guy,
right?
Because I was like, because I did think about him for a second. I was like, Jason Isaac? Nah, it's too.
He's too American for Jason Isaac.
It was like a split-second thought, and it was gone. But I remember it. So, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a revelation, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, now that we got that settled,
I can now die happy.
Yes. Yeah. The recap of the episode. So Aang and Katara and Sokka, they go to the Southern Air Temple where Aang is from.
Mm-hmm.
And initially he's excited because he hasn't been home in 100 years.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So there were signs of Fire Nation being there, and at first Katara wants to hide it. And the show initially gives you that kind of dilemma of, should you protect people from realizing such shocking things, at least as much as possible before they inevitably find out,
right? Or
do you want to try to prime them,
right?
Because Katara did try to prime him at first, he just wasn't getting it.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough in those situations, in real life. I feel like if that situation, if I were in the place of the character, of course,
mm-hmm.
My personality is just people need to know.
Yeah.
I feel like people do have the right to know, and I'm just he's gonna find out. He's gonna find out eventually. And we were talking about that even during the episode. I was like, he's gonna find out. She might as well tell him.
Yeah. But you also want to be sensitive to how they might react.
Right. And that's why it's kind of have to think of a delicate approach. But
what delicate approach is there?
Yeah, that's this show. You don't have much time to think.
Yeah, and
he's out exploring.
Yeah, and this show is probably some people's first exposure to the idea of genocide.
Right. Yeah.
Because this is the first we've like we've visually seen the Airbender genocide as it happened 100 years ago.
Right. Yeah, it's
like you can imagine like when we were in school and we're learning about genocides that have happened in history.
Right.
And it's really hard to really put into perspective how many people have died and what those circumstances are. Right. But when you can put it in a show like this and contextualize it in a way for children to understand, it's a lot easier to digest.
And I think if we would have found out from her initially, in this, the way the scene was set up, it's just like they saw a helmet, a Fire Nation helmet, and like that could have really been a good icebreaker as opposed to what he ended up finding.
Yeah, maybe.
Which really pissed him off.
Maybe
then he just saw this guy took on a whole freaking legion.
It seems like a whole squad.
Finally ended up biting the dust, or snow in this case, because nothing but snow and ice. But I'm like, I'd be pretty pissed too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that like really brought him over the edge and got him into the Avatar state for so long.
If he would have known,
it was so hard that that he let everyone know that he's back. Right. He saw the Avatar glow appear in all 4 nations.
Yeah.
That was really cool, wasn't it?
That was pretty cool. I was stoked.
Like, I can't help but imagine what it must be like for the monks in those monasteries, because 100 years of nothing.
All right, then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, like imagine your father and your grandfather and your great-grandfather.
I'd be like, I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, like imagine like all the people telling you like, bro, why are you still doing this?
Yeah, like he's not coming back. And it's just like, I told you. I can totally see something like that.
Those monks and sages must have been really dedicated to their...
They are.
Just like in real life, huh?
No, they are for sure. Like in real life, it's amazing.
Yeah. Do you recognize Gyatso's name? Have you heard Gyatso's name before?
No. Don't recall.
No. Gyatso's name comes from the current Dalai Lama. His name is Tenzin Gyatso. Oh. So they named Ain's father figure after the current Dalai Lama.
Gotcha.
Isn't that fitting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can see a lot of Tibetan Buddhist monk inspiration in the whole Airbender culture.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of it in the flashback where like they live in these monasteries.
Yeah. That was a great scene.
Yeah,
the flashback. They end up throwing cakes at each other.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was like, I wonder. It often makes me wonder, like, it's like, come on, it's just like they're not. They gotta have fun. I'm sure they have fun. Like, obviously people don't see it because they're very closed off. But like, imagine they know.
They're isolated, but they're with each other.
Right. It's like there's nothing wrong with having fun. Like, I don't care what religion you are. It's like have fun, But I hate like the stereotypical portrayal of monks in even live actions, because there's like
where they're like stoic and
that's all they do.
Not emotional at all.
Right. It's like they're just very peaceful,
Yeah.
Like, I can speak for like from like the Catholic side of it, with our monks, like particularly Trappist, when they were here.
Trappists?
Yeah, Trappist monks. They make the best honey. They were up in Huntsville, Utah. Oh, yeah, but the monastery was sold. That's a whole other story. But yeah, like
these are Catholic monks.
Yeah, Catholic monks, but they're always very reverent, very respectful. But they're like they had a sense of humor. They laughed, they joked with each other. They had fun. So
yeah.
But it's just like people portray them as like holy.
Yeah, as Bible thumpers that pop their head.
Yeah.
And chants.
All they do is pray the entire day. Which, I mean, there are some like orders that do that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But, like, for the most part, a lot of them are like the Trappists. They make honey.
Right.
They work.
And that's how they make their money.
Right, and it's good honey, but they got old. And
so, yeah. Like if you think about the Airbender philosophy, like you'll learn about the philosophies of the of all the nations over the show.
Right.
But I want to mention that Airbender philosophy is all about freedom and having the ability to live by your own morals.
Right.
Even like they have their own moral system, but they don't feel the need to enforce their way of life on others.
Right.
And it goes with the fact that air is everywhere and it's free flowing.
Right.
It's necessarily free.
Right. Now I have a saying about religion. What's it like the rating on? Is it like, do podcasts have like ratings or like for like language and stuff like that? Do they have like ratings?
I'm sure there is, but I'm only posting this on YouTube right now. So
okay.
So you can say I don't care what you say.
PG or PG-13.
I don't care.
I'm just saying religion's like having a wiener. It's nice to have them, but don't wave into people's faces.
Sure.
That's what I think. And it's just just a nice blunt way of saying it.
Sure. Sure. You can say it that way.
It has a purpose. That's my go-to. So.
Yeah. What else have I got? We talked about the genocide, and how the Avatar state, like he was at such a level that it awoke the temples on all the other.
I was so excited.
Yeah. And then at the same time that's happening, we get the face-off between Zhao and Zuko.
Yeah, that was epic.
Yeah. Like I said, it's probably the first time you really see really intense fighting.
Yeah. No, that was. Yeah, you're right. You're right, because that was like an actual duel.
Yeah. They call it an Agni Kai.
Agni Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool to learn that. Yeah.
I don't know if there's an actual Asian inspiration for that.
Imagine, I'm sure they all dueled each other. Like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. Oh, it's a classic.
Imagine that with like bending.
Right. I mean, they basically were. They freaking soared through the air. It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, the other purpose for the fight was to show to flesh out Zuko's character.
Right.
That was a major step towards showing that Zuko isn't necessarily one note.
Yeah.
He's not just the same old antagonist.
Right, and that's when I made my comment, like, well, that's a character arc for him. Because I was already starting to think he was a little, biatch.
Yeah, and predictable.
Yeah, I was like, man.
But now you see that he's capable of compassion. Yeah, he's capable of giving mercy.
Yeah.
Because he knows he won that fight. While
he's
Zhao...
secure.
He's secure,
more
exactly.
Secure about himself.
And Zhao is a lot more prideful.
Right.
And that might be, and the fact that he's commander, his rank kind of fed into his pride that way.
Right, his ego, yeah. Massive ego, which I liked at first. He was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like at first,
like right away, you can tell he has a cunning attitude.
Yeah. No, he's authoritative for sure.
Yeah. And through their dialogue, you kind of got some of Zuko's backstory.
Right.
Yeah, you got a little bit of his relationship with his father.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can tell it's a very big insecurity for Zuko.
Right.
His relationship with his father.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can tell he was definitely triggered by his little comment about that. But,
maybe you'd like one to match.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But I like the uncle. I just love him.
Yeah. The uncle was there for him.
He's you build him out.
Remember in the
cheap shot him.
Yeah, in the last episode, he said you've yet to master your basics, and it was his basics that trumped Zhao.
Right.
When the time came.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. The only basic he forgot was one thing, and that's never turn your back. On an enemy.
Like at that point, it looked like he won anyway.
Right.
Zhao was done.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah, but it's just even then, I'm amazed. I wonder if they're gonna bring that up because
what's that?
I know that's just a philosophy in any sort of martial art. Just
sure.
Never turn your back on an opponent. It's one thing when it's I know with bowing and in Shotokan when it comes to bowing to your instructor, you always lower your eyes when it's someone above you, but when it's or if it's your instructor, your superior, but if you're equals or it's an opponent, you never take your eyes off them, so. But I mean, Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what bugged me. I was just like, no, don't turn your back, don't turn your back. And I'm like, sure enough.
Well, like, what else can you do in that situation? He didn't want to kill him.
Yeah, just that kind of guy.
Like, the way out was behind him.
Right. I mean, it's just, you back up. You back up until,
I guess so,
he's out of sight. You don't trust
But
people.
Uncle was there to save the day.
Yeah, a good thing.
Yeah.
He's going to learn his lesson.
Yeah. And then Uncle chastised Zhao for trying to cheap shot him.
Yeah, being a little twit.
He said, even in exile, my nephew is more honorable than you.
Yeah,
and then Zuko was like, you really mean that? And he's like, yeah, I told you ginseng tea was great.
Yeah, that part was great.
Yeah.
Like, dude, don't think anything of it. I'll try and not get killed.
You can tell how much love Iroh has for Zuko already.
Right. Right.
We'll get more of their relationship, in almost every episode.
He relates to him well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after the duel, Aang's still freaking out, and Katara is talking him down. Mm-hmm. And you didn't think she'd succeed.
I mean, I knew it would.
Yeah,
honestly,
because how much farther could he have gone?
Like, we're in the third episode. He's not gonna kick it. He's not gonna wreck shit up.
Right?
Now,
yeah, he's still a child. He doesn't know much yet.
I was more hopeful, but I was just like, I like seeing him get back. I'd be pissed off too in that situation.
Yeah, it's a very realistic depiction of human reaction.
Right. I like to think if I had his powers, it's probably exact same. Like all that energy, all that emotion would channel all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when I get mad. Sometimes. I mean, I haven't been like lose control mad in a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. But it's like
you definitely felt it.
Yeah. Like you feel it. It's just like all that. Like the adrenaline goes through you, and just like you're like a lot stronger than you normally are.
Yeah. You want to lash out.
Yeah.
It's
just
instinctively.
Like you gotta, take a breath,
I think that's one of the biggest
situation.
That's one of the biggest strengths of the show is that its characters are really mirror how people would react in real life.
I feel like he had every right to freak out.
Yeah,
honestly, because that's probably the one of the times I would actually lose control and freak out. Yeah. That's why I'm like, if I have those powers, it's probably the same thing I would do.
Yeah,
he had every right. You got this freaking.
And it's not just that; it's the dynamic between the siblings. Sokka and Katara, that's really believable.
Yeah.
You can see the love that Iroh has for Zuko in everything he does, and you can tell the immediate what's the word? Drawing a blank. The rivalry between Zhao and Zuko.
Right.
All these relationships seem really natural.
Right. It's relatable.
They're well written.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real life stuff.
Yeah. Is there anything else about the episode that you really liked?
Oh, I like the little lemur.
Yeah, the
lemur guy.
Yeah, he
cute.
walked in when they were checking out the statues of the Avatar.
Yeah, I think it was
that was when you learned about the Avatar cycle.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So
that's a cool idea, isn't it?
Yeah, he's the same person.
Is it the same person?
I guess. I don't know.
I wouldn't say a person, just a spirit.
Spirit, right? Same energy, I guess.
Sure.
Technically.
And it gets reincarnated every time the Avatar dies.
Right.
And it goes in the cycle from air to water to earth to fire.
Which is cool. I was like, that's...
Yeah, that's another way of maintaining balance, I guess. So it's not one nation claiming the Avatar.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And we'll get, throughout the show, we'll also get more backstory about past Avatars as well.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
That opens up a whole new realm of storytelling, doesn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it's the subject. Like, it can just go so far with
it.
See why
you saw how many statues there were in that whole sanctuary.
Insane.
Yeah.
When they were lighting up, when he was all...
Yeah. It went all the way to the top.
It was spiraling up and up.
Yeah.
It's a spiral to heaven.
Yeah. That gives you an idea of how long... this shit's been happening.
Right.
So the lemur walks in, and it was the lemur that brought Aang to Gyatso's grave.
Yeah.
And set off the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then later on, the lemur comes back with a with 2 arms full of food for Sokka.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
That was awesome. I'm just thinking, though, like, where'd he get all that food? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's a lemur. He knows how to forage.
But, like, there's snow. There's snow and ice.
Well, it's a flying lemur, too, so he's not relegated to just the temple.
Probably bounces around from, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you just go down the mountain.
By markets. I just want him to start singing, I like to move it. I like to move it.
Looking for food.
This is probably way before that, right?
Maybe by a couple of years.
Probably.
Yeah, the lemur comes back and they adopt him into his family.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aang calls him a family now.
Yeah, you have a flying lemur? That's awesome.
Isn't it?
That's awesome. It's
yeah.
Like, hey, send him out to do some recon. He gets in the big one. He's going to, everyone's going to see him coming. Yeah.
They call him Momo.
Momo, yeah.
Yeah, you really like that name, huh?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually it comes from the Japanese word for peach.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, and he called him that because he stole a peach from Sokka in that last shot.
Oh, okay.
He was about to eat a peach, and then Momo stole it.
I figure like everything there has so far has had some sort of reference, which is kind of nice to see. Cause
it seems like they make every effort to draw inspiration from anywhere.
Right. Make a lot of those like cultural references.
Yeah. And you'll see like they're very eclectic with all their references. So they're not keeping
one theme.
Yeah. They draw inspiration for every nation.
Right.
And kind of mix and match them to make them their own thing.
Right. I think that's why it was so widely accepted and respected.
Yeah. You don't see that much Asian representation in American cartoons.
No. Yeah, I mean,
especially back then.
Yeah, I mean, apart from Pokemon and all those.
Yeah, that's not Nickelodeon though.
Right.
This was Nickelodeon.
That was their own. Yeah, see, like a Nickelodeon. Other than this, I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really watch Nickelodeon much. But.
Yeah. I did hear that Nickelodeon is making an Avatar Studios. So they're going to be working in that studio to make exclusively Avatar content. And they might bring it onto Paramount Plus as their own streaming platform.
Huh.
So
what do you know?
It might be a whole new Avatar renaissance coming up.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's why I'm getting you caught up now.
Jeez, I better.
So you can get in on this hype.
Seriously.
Yeah, for real. A lot of people are coming out of the woodwork, showing their reactions to the series and just growing the fandom.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating because it shows how big of a legacy well-written pieces of art can be.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate all the, just like I said, last time, from the martial arts perspective, it's just nice to see similarities between the cultures that they bring into the show. And, the styles I've studied. Mm-hmm. So, and they're all like very similar in their own ways. Obviously the protocols are just a little different, but just like the content or the concept behind each protocol or mannerism or or gesture, something simple as that. They all come from the same place, and that's just respect. Sign of respect. And I see a lot of that in here. With like at the end with the uncle and Zhao, he lost respect for him, for Zhao because of the way he acted. It's just like he's this high-ranking general, and he's a commander. He's much lower than him, and the uncle's a freaking war hero. But
he's a retired general.
Right.
So he's not necessarily above Zhao.
I mean, but he still is just like he's got that name.
Yeah,
he's got that name. And
he's got that prestige.
Exactly. Like people are they're gonna respect him more than they will him. But then he's just like at first you could tell he respected him.
Yeah. Because Zuko didn't want to associate with him at first. No. It was Iroh who said, "Show Commander Zhao your respect."
Right, exactly.
And then he joined Zhao for tea.
Right. And then as soon as he made that little move, just my respect for you's gone, man. So it's so simple. Something simple as like that, like you can lose respect very easily.
Yeah, it would have been so easy to just accept that you lost the battle.
Right, and that'd been more respectable. Yeah. I lost. I own it. But, you know, he had to throw a little tissy fit. But
yeah, this was an amazing episode, honestly.
Yeah, it was good.
You can see why, like, that episode hooked me into the show.
Yeah, it's getting good.
Yeah,
You're leaving a lot of good, cliffhangers.
Yeah.
And breadcrumbs.
Yeah, giving you breadcrumbs.
Definitely give me some breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Like a pigeon.
Yeah, you'll see that, like, this season is the slowest, honestly, because it's got a lot of setup.
Build up, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of setup to do. It's introducing some characters.
Right.
It's presenting character development.
Sure.
Introducing you to the lore of everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So it's gonna be a fun experience. We're only 3 episodes in.
Yeah, it's picking up. I'm excited.
I remember last time you said you wanted to see more of Aang in that Avatar state.
Yeah, right. I'm getting a taste.
You got a little more of that.
Getting a taste.
Yeah.
Now they're teasing me a bit, but it's all right. You know,
yeah.
I don't mind.
Is there anything else you want to predict about where you want the show to go? Because right now they're still going to the North Pole.
Well, now it's a race to find for at least Zhao and
Zhao and Zuko.
God,
you keep forgetting his name.
I can never remember it. It's so weird. With Zuko.
Yeah.
I gotta think like Zuka. It's the last name of a friend of mine.
Okay. Whatever helps.
Yeah. It's named my favorite restaurant. I closed the content. And I'm so sad.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a good time. But anyways.
Zhao and Zuko.
It's definitely going to be a race to find Aang before.
Yeah, because now you've got 2 people trying to find Aang.
And now they hate each other, so they're really going to be stepping on it. Like, they're going to try
the pressure's up.
The male ego, the male rivalry.
Yeah.
The rivalry of men, as they say. It's it makes us
Zhao's got resources.
Yeah, that's true, but
And Zuko's got that tiny little ship. You see how small his ship was?
It's a lot easier to maneuver, though.
Sure.
Like, if
but he only has one.
Right, that's true. So, he's got it. But he can take probably those, little shortcuts, those back routes.
Sure.
Those big, I don't know how the map is, but,
right, yeah.
I'm just saying from, like, a strategic, perspective, I feel like less of a load is better.
Sure.
You're less of a target for other, vessels that might be out there, but I don't know. I'm diving into some details.
Yeah. Well, like, I was asking predictions.
Yeah. No, I definitely predict there's going to be a lot of, tension there. Like, that's what I get going into it, because, you could get, like I said, male rivalry. Mm-hmm. There's just going to be a lot of drama there. And so. Yeah. Aang's going to probably learn or start learning or studying how to perfect his airbend or waterbending.
Sure.
Because that's what they're there for.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see. I'd like to see the village again.
Which village?
Katara and...
the South Pole village?
Yeah, just see what they're up to.
Really?
Just kind of want to... I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I kind of want to see just, how they're doing. Because I feel like they're still integral to the part. To the story rather, because their kids their youngsters are out on this adventure, so kind of want to see their side of it. What's going on?
I'm not really seeing what role they could play in the grander scheme of things.
Because
Katara was the only waterbender in that whole village.
Or does Zuko decide to get nasty and come back, or maybe Zhao does? I don't know. I feel like one of them might encounter them again. I don't think the family's just out. It's
okay.
Weird. I'm predicting that
that's interesting.
That they're going to be seen more.
Okay.
But I don't know.
So if they showed up again, you wouldn't be mad.
Oh no.
Okay.
I like their little village.
Yeah. Humble beginnings.
Yeah, it's cute. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll eventually get to the North Pole, and I will say there's a big difference in how big they are, because the North Pole has a lot more resources, a lot more people. So when we finally get there, there's going to be a big contrast between the North tribe and the Southern tribe.
South. I like that.
That's cool, right?
East and West.
Yeah. Cool. But we've got a lot of stops to make before the North Pole. So that
excited.
means a lot of different characters, settings,
make sure we pick up snacks
scenarios, seal beef jerky.
Ooh, yes.
To put into the fire to make it smell good.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't eat that. I mean, unless obviously if I was like
in a survival situation,
right? It's just like you gotta do. Ain't gonna eat veggies there
in the middle of snow.
Yeah, I'd like to see someone grow something there. Power to you if you can, though.
Yeah, totally.
God.
Well, I think I've run out of stuff to say. I'm excited for the next episode.
Same. Same.
Yeah, I think you'll identify with the next episode a lot.
So exciting.
Thank you for talking with me again.
Sure, dude.
Yeah, we've got 50 minus 3, 47 more episodes to watch.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's kind of nice because it's not it's not too much,
right?
Honestly,
right.
And hopefully our listeners will stick around until then.
Yeah. Hopefully,
yeah.
Hopefully, we're entertaining enough.
If you guys liked what you heard, we want to thank you for listening. If you stuck around this long,
thank you.
If you liked what you heard, you can drop us a like, subscribe if you want to keep up with us.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Do it.
If I had the right setup, I would record our live reactions to it, but Viacom is highly protective of its Avatar content. So yeah,
all that legality stuff just makes everything.
Yeah,
just kills the vibe.
Yeah. People really have to watch their edits to make sure that they don't violate Viacom's policies.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna forego that whole headache and just stick with this post episode discussion thing. But I think it'll do.
Who knows? If they like this, they might just let us do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not recording any of the episode itself, so.
This is a nice podcast.
Yeah.
Let's promote it.
If we end up having to go remotely, it could work better too, because we could watch it on our own time and then come back together later,
right,
to talk about it. If that ever happens, we have options.
So one thing the pandemic is like, that's like, no, because I don't want to say anything good about the pandemic, but it's just like we really, it's made us utilize our technology a lot more efficiently.
Sure. There's nothing wrong with finding silver linings in bad situations.
It's just like I hate to. It's just like it's affected.
It's
me
affected
personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's affected so many people. But,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But we got to make do with what we got, like Aang does.
Yeah, for sure.
He's only got 2 family members now.
Humble beginnings. Yeah.
2, 3, 4 family members. For now. Thanks again for watching. Drop us a like, subscribe, tell us what you think. Let's have a discussion if you vehemently disagree with anything we've said.
We want to hear them.
Stay subscribed if you want to hear more.
Nice, guys. Don't be.
No, please be savage. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the internet. You need to be savage to each other.
Yeah. Give your opinions,
savage,
guys.
Bougie, ratchet, nasty. Okay, we'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Thanks again for listening to our reviews of episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Atla. Like I said, I'm still working out the kinks for balancing my audio, but the quality should improve over time. If you liked what you heard, you can drop us a like below, like I already said. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and or you can follow the podcast on Instagram at GIgabytePodcast to stay updated on reactions and many other topics that we, mostly me, like to talk about. We look forward to seeing y'all in the next episode.